Hey everyone, my name is Andy. This is Neville. Welcome to Namaste at Home Yoga, and welcome back to another free flow practice. I love these ones. They're always really fun for me to just kind of go and see where the practice takes me. So if you want to join me just by taking a comfortable seat on your mat to start, we'll settle in here with the sit bones, grow up nice and tall out of the crown of the head. Hands can just come to rest at the sides or maybe on the knees. And we can start to soften the gaze or maybe allow the eyes to close as we tune in to the breath. Just noticing it. Not changing anything about it just yet. But really getting in tune with the quality of your breathing today. Noticing where movement happens, maybe where it doesn't. And then we'll start to guide that breath a little more, get the most out of it that we can here. Lengthening those inhales. Fill at bottom to top, let the belly expand, let the chest rise. And then exhaling slow and smooth. Full inhale, fill the belly, fill the chest. Slow, easy exhale. Let's find a few more just like that. Each one a little fuller than the last. Noticing if the shoulders start to come up with your inhales. See if we can soften them a little bit more. Each exhale helping us to do that. If you'd like to bring a focus to mind, now's a good time to do so. We'll gently bring hands through center, palms pressing chin to chest as we come back to this space, to this moment, refocusing or opening the eyes. Inhale back up nice and tall. Starting just gently here, we'll bring a hand out to the side of the mat, opposite arm inhales overhead. Exhaling, we find a little bit of a side bend, allowing those sit bones to stay grounded, firm in our mats. Expansion through the side body. Maybe fingertips are reaching, or if shoulder isn't so much a fan of that, you can tuck the hand behind the head like you're doing a tricep stretch. Just enjoying that expansion for another breath or so. Finding an inhale to come back through center. Exhale, release it down. Inhaling, opposite arm sweeps up. Exhale, we find that side bend. Taking that arm variation if you prefer. Breathing deep into the side of the body. And inhaling back through center. Exhale to release that down. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, gentle twist. Right hand finds its way towards the left knee. Keeping that spine up so tall, so strong. Exhale brings us through center, other side. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, we twist. Left hand reaching across to the right knee. And exhaling, we find our way back through center. Make your way into a tabletop. Warming up the spine with some cat-cow as we inhale to drop that belly, head, chest, and hips rise. Exhaling, we press down through hands and knees, rounding the spine. Inhale, head, chest, hips. Exhale, round like there's a stirring around your waist, pulling up towards the ceiling. Inhale, open up, expand. Exhaling, making space through the back body. You can find your way back through center here. Go ahead and tuck the toes. Contain the core, belly button draws in towards the spine, and just bring the knees up to a hover. Only coming 1 or 2 inches off the ground. So you just feel that strength, that firm pressure through the hands, strong into the mat, almost like we're pressing the earth away from us. Next, exhale sends the hips up and back, downward dog. First one of the practice, so go ahead, pedal it out, do what you need to do here. Finding an inhale, send the right leg high. Just gonna hold it up as high as we can here for a couple of breaths. Keeping shoulders square towards the mat, hips square towards the mat. Slight internal rotation of those toes. And stepping through between the hands. Let's find a lunge. Runner's lunge to be specific. Get strong through those legs, high on your back toes, and the arms back, crown of the head reaches forward as we lift. Finding that gentle tuck to the chin to help extend that long line. It's easy to want to kind of drop down here, so keeping that pulled back, shoulder blades squeezing together. And exhaling, we frame that foot, step in on back, downward dog. Opposite side, left leg inhales to the left, nice and high, couple breaths to hold. Squaring off those hips. Turning the left toes in a little bit. Might make this a little bit more challenging to keep the leg high, that's okay. And go ahead, step that through, finding your lunge. Knee stacks over ankle, getting strong through the legs, high in your back toes, reaching up, floating into your runner's lunge. Just finding that little bit of activation. Waking up some muscles. And exhaling, reframe, go ahead and step that back. Next one here, inhale, right leg comes high. Bending through that leg, start to reach your foot over to the opposite wall. Opening up so right hip stacks over left. Oh my goodness. Three-legged dog, keeping the chest fairly square to the mat here. And once more, step it through, find your lunge. Same thing, same as your runner's lunge from before. Go ahead and float that up when you're ready. Activating our arms a little more, creating some more length here. Sweep them overhead, thumbs towards the ceiling, biceps in line with the ears. So strong with those legs. And as we exhale, we'll frame the foot, step it back, downward dog. All right, second side, send that left leg high. Bending through the knee, reaching over towards the side wall. Allowing hips to rotate, but shoulders stay square to the mat. Couple of strong breaths. And then stepping it through, find your runner's lunge. Float up when you're ready. breath or so to find your balance, find that stability. Maybe drawing left hip back, right hip forward slightly here. And when you're ready, sweeping those arms up overhead, thumbs towards the sky. Again, biceps come alongside the ears, spread those fingers wide, lots of energy here. And exhaling, we frame, step it back, down dog. Excellent stuff. Moving back to our right leg, go ahead and send it high. Reaching over for the side wall once more and staying here. We're continuing to rotate, open to find wild thing. Toes come to plant, hips press high. Finding lightness with each breath in. Finding your way back to your three-legged dog with control. And step it through, find your lunge. Ankle stacks under knee and we press to lift, runner's lunge. This time hands float through center. Inhale to get tall. Exhaling, we twist. Left elbow or left hand finds the outside of the right leg. Palms press to come through center of the chest. Or modified version, like I said, left hand finds the leg, right hand finds the low back. Enjoying a little bit more openness through the side of the body. Shoulders melt away from the ears. Maybe that balance gets a little bit more challenged. Inhale through center. Exhale, we frame, step that back. And second side, here we go. Left leg, inhaling high. Moving into that three-legged dog to stay there. Or we continue to rotate. Opening up. Finding wild thing. Sending hips high. Heart proud. Breath so strong. With control, we find our way back to that three-legged dog. And step it through, find your runner's lunge. Floating up when you are ready. Hopefully you're starting to warm up a little bit here. I sure am. You can send our hands through heart center. Inhale to grow tall. Exhaling, we twist. Right elbow towards the left leg. Again, pressure through the palms here to assist our twist a little bit. Opening up. Modifying as needed with hand to the leg. Left arm finding the low back. Shoulders melting away as the crown of the head still grows long here. Reaching forward. Beautiful. Find an inhale, float back through center. Exhale, frame, step forward, top of the mat. And let's let that go for a sec. Ragdoll it out. Find a little sway side to side. Really big sigh here, letting some of that work go. Inhaling full. Out the mouth. See if we can relax more through the back of the neck, through the shoulders, just letting everything be heavy. Knees bending if they need. And gently rolling up to stand, vertebrae by vertebrae. Head comes up last. Open things up by sweeping the arms overhead. Exhaling through center. Nice. Coming into one of my most favorite balance postures. You can start by spreading the toes out nice and wide. Just feel how that stability stands down into your mat. Maybe finding a rock side to side. forward and back, finding a good center spot in each foot. And we'll shift over to that left leg. Inhale to lift the right knee. And a couple of options for today. You can grab around the back of the hamstring to stay here, or maybe extend the leg out. Or if it is available, peace fingers, index and middle, can grab for big toe. Same thing, keeping tall, we extend it out. Staying here, or opening up to the side wall. And if this isn't feeling excellent with the toe grab, feel free to come to the same with a bent leg. Flexing toes up, keeping really engaged, shoulders back, and hips still square to the front. Other hand can be used really however you'd like for balance here. It's always a fun shape to explore, so many options. We'll inhale to come back through center, find a bend to that knee. Exhale it down. Fabulous. Second side, we'll shift over to that right foot. Inhale, left knee rises. You can start by grabbing hamstring, maybe kicking that leg away. Or if it is available, again, peace fingers, can grab that big toe. Same thing here. The leg can stay bent or straight as we start to guide it out to the side. Keeping ourselves tall, keeping our chest proud. Crown of the head ever reaching up. Strong breath. Play around with those arms. Have a little bit of fun with this. Make it your own. And as we inhale, we find our way back through center, back to a bent knee. Exhale, bring it back to the mat. Fantastic. Feet can come hip distance next. Maybe mat width if you would prefer. You know you have a little bit of tightness around the hips. We'll turn the toes out about 45 degrees. Let's send the hips low here, finding our yogi squat or malasana. Hands can come through center. Arms finding the inner edges of the legs. We think about pulling the shoulder blades back, growing tall through that spine as the chest draws forward. Heels are lifted, that's all right. If you feel like you need to adjust at all in this one way or another, that's fine. We're just gonna move through a really gentle twist, really gentle opener here. So we're gonna start by bringing the left hand down to the mat. Right hand, a couple options can come behind the back, just gently turning the gaze. Maybe it reaches up towards the sky, but just finding a little bit of rotation, maybe challenging this balance more. Really deep breaths here. With an exhale, we can bring that back down. Right hand finds the mat. You can still use that pressure out against the legs to help you, but keep the hips fired up, pressing out and back. Opening up, left arm behind the back, or reaching up towards the sky. Shifting the gaze slightly, challenging that balance. Finding some openness through the side of the body, some depth to your breathing. And exhaling, hands can find the mat. Go ahead and take a seat. Let those legs go for a moment, let them relax. And we'll just open up a bit through the front of the legs here. I'm gonna bring the right heel in beside the hip, an inch or so away. Top of the foot can come find the mat. And if this really doesn't feel good for you, feel free to come into a side lie, just grabbing for the ankle as an alternative. We're going to keep our knee in line with the hip as we start to lean back. Maybe we come back to bent arms, to forearms, all the way down to rest on the back. Finding some sensation in the front of the leg, in the quad. You might not be able to see it with this angle, but ideally top of foot is on the mat here, just to be kind to the ankle. Again, if that really doesn't feel good, feel free to come into that side lie. Got just a couple more breaths here. Over that next one or so. Take your time, come on back up. Just releasing that leg back in front of you. Moving through our second side, left heel finds its way in close to the hip. Top of the foot resting on the mat. Knee stays in line. And at your own pace, starting to walk ourselves back, maybe coming down a little bit. Recognizing that we won't always match from side to side, and that's perfectly normal, perfectly alright. And sometimes even just matching your expectations doesn't always happen. So I encourage you to let go of some of those expectations of what your body should be able to do or what it should feel like, and just embracing where it is, where it's at, how it feels as you go. Finding parts of the posture that maybe challenge the body, but don't cause it any harm, keeping things pain-free. Settling in for one more full breath. And we'll start to walk our way back up. Release that leg back in front. And we'll just get one more little forward fold for today, wrapping things up. Legs can come about hip distance. Remove the extra fleshy parts so that sit bones can be really nice and firm into your mat. We'll inhale, sweep those arms overhead. Exhale, draw forward, long spine as long as you can, and then let yourself melt here. Arms can let go, not grabbing on for anything, but just letting ourselves be heavy, letting ourselves relax into this here. Coming back to those really deep breaths to see where else we can let go. Smoothing the forehead, relaxing the eyes, gently parting the teeth, releasing a bit of tension through the jaw. Anywhere else that we might be holding on a little bit extra. Really lengthening your exhales here. And finding the next breath to bring yourself back up. Returning to your comfortable cross-legged position from the start of our practice. Allowing yourself to find a bit of stillness here. Allowing eyes to close as we come back to that breath once more. If you set a different focus or intention at the start of this practice, feel free to come back to it. Maybe that intention changed for you as you made your way through. So offering yourself some gratitude for the work that you just did, some kindness, some love for your strength, your movement, your willingness to try. Or maybe things just felt great today. Soak that in. Let's find a nice big breath all together here, filling up the lungs, bottom to top. And a big sigh out the mouth. Hands can find their way through center as chin comes to chest, softly opening the eyes. Thank you so much again for joining me for a free flow. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you again soon. Namaste.